Hello and welcome to Dropzone Nexus. Today I'm going to be talking about bases. Now, bases are one of those bits of a model that I must confess I'm guilty of neglecting. I normally paint up my model, slap it on a base and leave it at that. So over the last couple of weeks I've been playing around, experimenting with a few different ways to make my infantry bases a bit more distinctive and help just make them look a bit cooler, really, to be honest. The first experiment was probably my most disappointing one, and for this I had some leftover bits of MDF and I just glued them onto the sides of the base and sprayed them. Very little work, very little cost if you've been building some MDF buildings, and it does look serviceable. I think I did them a disservice by the very dark grey I sprayed them in, but I think if you put a bit of work in there, you could actually make something that looks distinctive and a bit different. The next experiment was a bit more successful to my mind. So for this one, I tried using green stuff, and basically I just started off by rolling it into little balls and then squidging them on top of each other to build up a little sandbag wall. Or at least that's what it started off as. However, I think to get a proper sandbag wall, you really need to be a bit more precise than what I was doing. Make it look a bit more uniform. However, I decided to adapt plans and make it into a stone wall. The idea being that this could be the countryside, with a nice little wall to separate the fields, until my troops come smashing through and blowing everything up. And I was quite impressed with this, for my artwork anyway. I think with hindsight, I would have built the wall a little bit higher. It's really only going to protect their lower legs. I think up to around about waist height would have been better. But on the plus side, it does mean you can see more of the model. Now recently I've been trying to tidy out some of my old hobby stuff that's been sitting in shelves and not used. And one of the things I came across was old 40k Space Marine sprues. And there were so many shoulder pads there. So what I decided to do was to clip some of them off, glue them onto a base, an idea really being that they would form the start of a mound or a hill. And what I would do then is get a little bit of green stuff, shape it over the top to form some mounds. A, to hide the heresy of having 40k Space Marine on my drop zone, but more importantly to actually make it look like a mound or a hill. And for my paint scheme here I actually went for a kind of rocky environment. And the idea being that this would be a perfect base for my hazard suits. And you could use it as a moon environment as well, or even spray it green and make it into little hills, more peaceful environment. Now the next one was a cheats approach, and I actually found a company called Model Display Products, which actually sells bespoke Dropzone Commander bases. What they basically sell is ruined building bases. You can buy them either made for a 3-man squad or a 5-man squad, and the little resin ruined buildings. You literally just glue your men in there and paint her up. So no effort at all, and they do look really cool. However, it is a bit more expensive and maybe not quite so unique, but I do quite like them. I can see the appeal of it, but I would want them for an army that had less infantry. I wouldn't want hordes and hordes, because otherwise it would cost quite a bit. The next one's work in progress, and it's actually a ruined building marker. An idea is that when I get to destroy a building, as well as celebrating the enemy infantry being squished and crushed, I also get to put down a unique base. And I started off with a bit of MDF, and then for the walls, what you find with a lot of the TT combat buildings is you get little bits of MDF come out from where the windows are. And I've kept them in a box, and I've just used them for the brickwork and glued them on to form a little higgledy-piggledy wall. And then I've had some model railway kind of granite that I've just glued onto the bottom. And this is the start of this one. What I want to do is put something distinctive on it, and I've not quite decided what to do yet. I either want to put a bit more unique to it, so maybe a crash dropship, really tie it in with Dropzone Commander. Or maybe something scourge, maybe some vats, cloning vats. I can maybe scratch build something with some cylinders. So I'm really going to have a think about this and see what to add. And hopefully I do come up with some good ideas. And that's the end of today's episode. There's probably enough ideas to seed your mind. And I'm really hoping that people with a bit more of an artistic talent can take some of these ideas and improve on them and really come up with something quite distinctive. I think, as I say, the one I want to finish off is my ruined building base. And the other one that's niggling in my mind is I want to maybe build some trench works. But that might take a little bit more planning. But it's something in my mind I will give a try sometime. And as always, any comments or anything, please let me know. And I'll speak to you later.